it's time to make some fall decorations. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline, and today I've got a weird selection of things on my desktop just to give you a little taster to see what's coming next. Now I bet you have no idea what I'm going to do with some old trainers, some flowers, an old rag. Well, we'll see. No time for chatting. Let's get on with crafting. The first thing to show you is this picture frame. Now, I've already put a coat of chalk paint on this. It was like a goldy colour. I've taken the glass and the backing out. I've got these little bits of, I don't know what you would call them, little lug things that hold the backing in place. I'm leaving those in till the very last minute because I think I'm going to use them. You can add a hanger. You may already have a hanger. I'm not going to hang this because I'm still not sure if it's going to be like a shelf sitter or whether it's going to go on the wall. Now you've got your options as well, whichever way round you want to put it. I'm going to go for this way, I think. I may have just changed my mind. You know what I'm like. So now this has got a coat of paint that is dry. I'm going to open up my tin of Rust-Oleum Furniture Finishing Wax in dark. And then I'm just going to get a little bit. Be careful I don't put too much on. Very, very lightly. Put a little bit of this over the top of the frame. And I think that hopefully little bits of gold are going to show through. Little bits of this brown are going to show through. You can see how there, I put on too much there really. That's not quite the look I was going for. But we can go with it. You've never ruined a craft. You've just changed it up a little bit. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Oh, now it's time for some power tools. Now, don't worry if you don't have power tools because this is so easy to do with just a staple gun. As long as you've got good, strong hands, you can do this with a staple gun. So I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to use this. Now, you can get this from Dollar Tree. You can get it from Poundland if you're in the UK. Most places like that will sell it. You can get, I think in Dollar Tree, you can actually get chicken wire. I can't get chicken wire here, not in our pound store, but you can get this. So I've cut myself a piece that's going to be bigger. It's very difficult to use. Be careful you don't stick yourself with it because it's very, very sharp and pointy. And I've made this bigger than the hole because I want to fix it into place. Now, you can try gluing this in place. I know I haven't got any glue that's even going to touch holding this in place. So I use this as a Tackwise staple gun. It's really easy to use. And I'm clumsy and I've never hurt myself yet. I've never stapled myself to the desk. It's got like a safety feature on it. So you can't actually fire it until you're pressing really hard. So you're not going to shoot the staples anyway. Right, so my staple gun has decided it's going to die on me. Not the best time in the world, so I'm going to carry on regardless. This is not going to go well, but it's going to go, and that's all that matters. We'll get there. You'll see what I mean. So now I've got the backing board and a piece of paper. I like this plank effect. You can put anything you like on. I'm going for the plank effect. Up with some glue stick. All the way around. Make sure you completely cover the backboard, or as near as you possibly can, because you want this to stick nicely. And then trim off the edge. And now in the ideal world, if you've got a staple gun that works, you're going to stick this on the back and staple it into place. Now, I haven't got any idea how I'm going to make this work. So I'm going to carry on regardless. We're going to act like a true professional. I know. I know what I do. I've got some masking tape here. I've been trying to repair my staple gun with, and it's not worked, but I can use this to hold everything in place just for now. And then when my gun is fixed, then I can take this off and staple it into place. It'll be fine. No, it won't. It doesn't want to stick. Arrgh. And now we're going to turn this over and you're going to ignore this, okay? Pretend that's not there because this is neatly stapled on. It's perfection, okay? I think it's probably even a bit wonky, but we're not going to worry about that because I'm going to have to restaple it later. I went to the charity shop and got some fabric. You may have seen my fabric haul, and in there were these. Now, something about this pattern has been bugging me, and I checked earlier and they've actually put the fabric on the wrong way. Maybe they wanted to have a more muted tone, but it doesn't look right to me, but still I'm going with it. So these are going to be put on here in a downward manner. They haven't got to be neat. You can use a little circle of card for this. You can cut out some burlap, whatever, just something to back the letters. Now, this has been a bit of a disaster craft between you and me. Don't tell anybody else. As you can see, I scratched myself on my wire, so I've got a plaster on there. So I wanted to put the word fall on. Now, I didn't have two L's. So I took this D and cut the bits off, but it's a bit messy. But we're going to ignore that too. So if I take these off, I think I'll stick the letters on first. So I think I'll have those turning round like as if they are falling. So the angle is slightly different on each of them. And then out with my glue gun, which has been sitting here so patiently for like the last 30 minutes, possibly longer, thinking, when are you going to use me? I'm finally going to use him. So it's an L. Be careful if you're using these metal letters. Oh, they get very hot when you've used hot glue on them. I should have put fail rather than fall, shouldn't I? That would have been more fitting. So now I'm going to try gluing these here without the backboard doing any damage to them. Let's move it all down so you can see it. I wonder if somebody had enough of these to make a quilt, or they never got around to doing that, or were these just spare ones they never used? I have no idea. I'll never find out the secret of the history of these patchworks, hexagons. They use English paper piecing. That's why the fabric's actually attached to paper. And there you go. That's the next stage done. So now we just need to doll this up a bit, make it look a bit glam. And for that, I'm going to bring in my foliage and my flower that I got from another project. So I'm going to take some of these off. You can always, don't forget, break your picks down into smaller amounts if you want to. Get a lot more value for money then. I always like to do that. And they usually come apart quite easily as well. A little bit of a tug and off they come. So let's see what we can do with that. So the flower I thought would look nice up there. And we've got these little flowers here. Look, there's even a little bee on there. So that's going to be glued there, and then I'm going to put some foliage around it. So I'm going to go for gluing the flower on first, because otherwise you can spend all that time putting the foliage on and then finding out your flower covers it all. So that is going there with those flowers hanging down. And now I'm just going to add some interesting foliage all around the outside. So there we go, all done. You can add more flowers if you want to, you don't have to. I love the simplicity of that. And I think what really makes this stand out from the crowd are the edges of masking tape sticking out the outside. When have you ever seen such a novel idea? Right, let's see what this looks like, as long as it doesn't fall apart, up on my display. For this next country, autumn or fall craft, you're going to see what I'm going to do with these old trainers. You can see these certainly weren't off a child who didn't do much running around. They've worn them out. And when you think how quickly children grow, wow, they must have been a very active child. I picked these up from the charity shop. Oh, I can't remember hardly anything I paid for them. So I'm going to set those to one side, and I've got a pool noodle. Now I'm going to do something with this pool noodle. I'm going to dress it because it looks a little bit naked. We can't be doing with naked pool noodles. So I got this pair of jeans. This was, I can't see the size needs. This was in the No Hope bin. We got a bin in one of our charity shops, and you get 5 things for £1. They're like, please take this before we have to throw it away. So I oblige, and I come and take things away. I know some people get a bit upset. Oh, you shouldn't use those. Some other child could use them. Nobody wants them. They've been reduced right down, and I'm the only taker. They love seeing me come in. Oh, here comes a woman who takes all our rubbish. I'm going to pop these jeans onto the pool noodle, like that. And I think I'll give them some turnips because they are a little long. I think turnips will add to the charm as well. In case you're wondering, yes, this would have been quicker to have done before you put them on the pool noodle. Oh, it's really tight. There we go. Now, ideally I'd like these legs to be together a bit more. Let's see what it looks like when we finish, and then we can come up with a plan. So these shoes are going to be going on to the bottom of this. Open them up. I think I'm going to have to put some glue inside. Let's see, they may fit. Thing is, there's no bit bending that way like you would get on a normal foot. Let's try them. They may stay on. If I put them facing down, then the bit of pool noodle goes right down into the toe, and I'm thinking they'll hold then. It'll be better. And you can always add a bit of glue if you don't think they will. You can even add socks. You can do whatever you like, really. So this is going to be viewed from behind. I think what I'll do, this is my plan. I don't know if it's going to work. We will find out. I'm going to get some twine. Then I'm going to come there where the jeans belly bit will be. So it's not going to be in the way of the legs. Pull that tight like that. And then tie a knot. Tie my finger into my knot. There we go. And I can tie another one as well. And then pull the trousers back up. And now we do have an excess of trousers, so let's have a look what I can do here. Nothing a bit of glue won't cure at the front. Oh, I love hot glue. You can have all your crazy ideas and you just, if they don't work, stick a blob of hot glue on. You can make most things work with a good blob of hot glue. Other than my staple gun, obviously. Right, so now, oh yes, that's looking better. I'm going to have to take one of his turnips down, or her turnips down, depends. I think a little girl will be fun wearing these trainers. Yeah, we'll make it into a little girl. And now, this is a bit like a sunbonnet Sue, only it's a sun hat, what should we call? We could do the unisex name, because that way then we don't have to decide. Stevie. There we go. Sun hat Stevie. We'll call it sun hat Stevie. Now I'm going to be gluing that into place, but I need to put a hanger on first because it's not going to work without a hanger. And look at this. I just happen to have a hanger. So I'm wondering is if I can pop that, make a hole and pop that through there. This is my plan. It's not necessarily going to go well, but I'm going to give it a try. This is just, I can't remember what this was, or some sort of tag. Yep, that's going to be okay, I think. Let's have a look. Yes, it hangs nicely. Oh, it's a bit wonky. Oh, no, now is not the time to find that's wonky. I think it's wonky. Is it wonky? No, it's not that wonky. So I'm going to give it a little blob of hot glue on the back there, just to make sure it all stays in place. Just remember there are two ways of doing your craft. One, if you're selling, you really have to make the effort. And if you're doing it for yourself, then just enjoy it. I just love crafting. If it goes wrong, just have a laugh and carry on. I'm going to stick a little bit of masking tape over that. Just gives it a bit more oomph on the grab. Now I'm going to decorate this hat before I do any more. And I thought simplicity is the way forward. So we're going to make a bow. So this is quite easy to do. I don't want a long bow because we got the tails hanging on there. So about there. Cut it off. Scrunch it up. And get a pipe cleaner. Find the middle. Go around. And give it a twist. And before you tighten it really tightly, make sure you're happy with where the bows and the tails are. Yep, I think that's fine. So really tighten it up now. Snip off your pipe cleaners. Glue. Oh, look at that. Now get off. I've got enough fuzzy bits on there. I don't want the pipe cleaner stuck on there as well. Glue that onto there. Pop my bow on. And yes, it does look a mess because you can see the pipe cleaner. But that's not a problem. because we're going to just put a little bit of something autumnal on the back. I think this will be fine. Chop the end off, bit of glue on top of the pipe cleaner, and pop that on there. I want to put some foliage on now. I don't want to make it too summery. What do you think? Should I put foliage on or not? I think probably not. No, I'm not going to put foliage on, even though I really want to. I don't think it suits the style, being fall. Now we just need to glue this onto the trousers. I want the pockets to show. So, where do we need to go? I think I'll put the bit here of the hat onto the top, and I'm going to glue all around that area. Let's put it into place. Woo! He jumped off the table. Get back on the table. Oh, well, we go for glue all over there. Ow, that hurts. Sorry. It's very hot. It'll cool. Pop that on there. And I'm going to stick some hot glue down in the shoe there. Just to give it a bit of extra oomph, because I don't want it falling off. If you're doing these to sell or to give, then get yourself some. If you look in thrift stores, charity shops, you quite often find newish, like toddlers and baby shoes that were bought for them and they never wore. So you don't even have to be using second-hand worn out tatty ones like I'm using. But you know me, I go on budget only in most cases. If I can get something cheap, I will. And we forgot to dovetail our bow. I don't think I'm going to dovetail it. I think I'll just cut it at an angle like that. So it looks as if you've done something, that you care about your bow, but it doesn't look too frilly because I think it suits the style of this better. It's a bit wonky, but never mind. And there we got our next project. And I think this is a nice change from Sunbonnet Sue to have Sun Hat Stevie, because it's just fun, isn't it? You can imagine somebody climbing up a tree and things like that in the autumn, getting the conkers down, that sort of thing. Let's see what this looks like up on my display. For this next country fall decoration, I'm going to tackle the beast. Now this, my daughter-in-law bought for my grandson's birthday party. He had a dinosaur theme party, and then when she'd finished with it, she thought, I don't know what on earth I'm going to do with this. I know, Granny can have it. So there we go. Granny's got lots and lots of ivy. The next component we need is going to be something circular. Now there are two options here. I've got a pool noodle here that I've shown you can tape into a circle. If you get a little dowel and put it in halfway this side, halfway that side, gives it a bit more strength. But I'm not going to make something big like that because it's difficult to show you on camera. So I'm going to go for the smaller option. And it's this. It's just one of these plain flat wreath bases, rings, I don't know what you call it. It's a rogue staple from my broken staple gun. And I've got this, which is a hanger. Now, I've got new ones here, which are nice and shiny, but I like this one because it's looking quite rustic. You can see all the rust on that. So I'm going for that for this style. And I want to put this hanging. I've got 3 hangy bits, so I need to divide this equally into 3. So I've spared you the clattering. I've put it like this, and then I'm going to alter these. When I got the actual thing finished, I'm going to put them in the right place and give them a bit of a glue because it's not really enough to attach these to anything at the moment. So the next thing to do is to get the beast and try to separate out. As you can see, there are lots and lots of individual bits of ivy. So I'm going to take all the ivy, well, not all. I don't think I'm going to be using all this ivy for a long while. I'm going to take strips of ivy and then I'm going to start wrapping them around here, but this is going to be clattery. So rather than carry on with the noise going, I'll do this. Perhaps I'll set it to a bit of music, see how I get on, and then we'll get back to me when I've got this all wrapped in ivy. And And this is what you end up with. Now, you're going to have a nice side and a not so nice side, probably. I always find I get that, whatever I do. So I'm going to pick the nicest side, and that side is going to be the side that faces downwards, because the top you're not going to see, because this is suspended from the ceiling, unless you make it very low, in which case you can hang it over a dining table, and that would look spectacular. Make sure that both sides are equally as good. So now I've got lots and lots of foliage and flowers, and I'm trying to decide what's best to do. Now, I don't want to do it too muted, so I've got the orange ones as well. I love these. Look at these big poofy chrysanthemums. So I'm going to see if I can pull the head off, like that, and then chop. I may leave that on. Yep, I'm going to leave that on. Now, are 3 of these going to be too big? I think they may be. I think they may be, yes. I'm going to put those to one side, and I'm going to stick with these then for the bright highlights. They're very pretty. I love these roses. Pull these off. Right, be careful with those that you don't lose all the petals off them. I got 3, which is a nice number. So, oh yes, they're much more, on the bigger one I think I would have used the larger ones, but these look lovely. And I got these. Do you think they're too big? I think they're rather large too. These are a bit smaller, these ones. I can use those. So, let's pull the ends off these. Got 1, 3 of those. And I don't know if I'll use that one. I may not. So the next thing to do is to glue these flowers into place. So make sure you're happy with the placing before you start gluing. And this also is brilliant because it covers up any issues you don't like with if you've missed bits or whatever. Now, normally I would cut off these little long, see the sticky out bits? But I think it's going to glip better into all that ivy if I leave them in place. So pop 3 of those into place. Straighten that up. Ow, that's hot. There. And you can see there's a bit of a gap there, but I'm not going to worry about that because we've still got an awful lot to stick on. Yeah, the more I look, the more I can see how unevenly I've covered this. But yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, I don't really want these big sticky out bits on there. Oh, see if I can cut them off. Oh, there we go. That was nice and easy. Oh, the rest haven't got them anyway. Right, so I'm going to put those, they're nice and easy to space because they're going in between the peach ones or the orange ones. Nice wood of glue. Don't skimp on your glue with this, you will regret it. They'll land on your head, whatever you're sticking on. Could go plop, especially if it gets very hot and you've got a minuscule amount of hot glue. Oh yes, this is actually just the same as building a wreath. It's just that I want this to look lovely from the sides as well. At least the bottom of the sides. So now I've got this. I love this. Look at that. You can use this in so many places, but I'm going to take it apart. Again, you know me, I'm always taking things apart. Because I want the sort of dangly effect, but I'm not going to have these dangling down low. Now you could make these dangle really low. I suppose you could put this somewhere like above a stairway and have the dangle hanging right down the stairway if you've got one of those double that way and then that way ones, if you see what I mean. I've got a pile of these and I'm going to put them around the outside edge. I'm going to try leaving the bits on because it just gives it more grab. So pop that in there. And then I'm going to come right the way around using these. Thinking about it now, I should have made sure I had enough before I started, shouldn't I? Never mind, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's amazing what you can do if you have to. And if, like me, when you get all the way around, you've got a few spare ones, then just go around filling in any gaps that look like they could do with a little bit extra. And remember, keep it in mind all the time because it's so easy to forget that this is going to be hanging downwards. Makes you think differently about the placement of these. There's a little ugly end there. Let's chop that off. I don't want any ugly ends. No, I'm just going to put a few in the middle. I don't want to put too many in the middle because this is so small. Then it's going to fill up that hole and you're not going to be able to see that it's hollow in the middle. I'm just going to put a couple in. Again, remembering that it's facing downwards, so we want these to face up a little bit, the ones in the middle, so you'll be able to see them dangling between all the other flowers. And now before I put any more on, I just want to have a look at these. Now, let's see the difference it makes. Again, it's a big pick. Just pull all the bits off. If I put something like that on, I can put them towards the... Oh, now I like that idea, putting them towards... Where's my third one? I'm sure I had another one. Lost it. Pull that one off there. If I put them towards the outside there, I think I like that. So I'm going to do that, and then it'll give an extra bit of oomph. And now we got these little gaps here, so I could do with something else, I think. Something to go in there, but I may just foliage those. Yep, I like that idea. So this is what I've come up with, and it hangs up, as you can see, trying not to bump everything, with this chain here. And so let's see what this looks like hanging up. I think you're going to love this. Well, 3 absolutely gorgeous farmhouse fall crafts. Which one was your favourite? I'm struggling, but I think this one wins. I just love the fact that it dangles down and just looks so much like you're in a country cottage. I think this one's going to win for me, especially with the colours as well. I just love it. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give me a thumbs up and, of course, subscribe, because I've got so many more things coming up, including Christmas 2024 is on the way. We'll be starting early because I know many of you want to make your decorations in advance, or I want to make them so that you can go to the Christmas fairs and fetes, things like that, and sell them there. Right, I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, happy crafting and have fun. Bye.